Hey everybody, it's October 30th, 2009. I am Sonic Sons, and I'm not a vegetarian. But I probably should be. As you can probably tell from the title I'm presumably going to give this video. It's probably a title right above my head as you watch this on the internet. For a variety of reasons, vegetarianism makes sense. The first thing, typically the first thing I've heard anyway, that vegetarians, or vegans, which is vegetarian plus, you know, they don't even drink milk, which would be hard for me, man. I always drink milk. Milk is cool. Healthy and everything. But the first thing that I typically hear vegetarians bring up is the moral issue. That animals have certain rights. And we shouldn't kill them and eat them and such. And I've always sort of wondered about that. I certainly believe we have to protect the environment. The environment produces all of our air, for instance, and if we pollute the air, we will not have any more air to breathe, and the humans will all die. So, you know, let's not do that. And a variety of other things. The environment is complicated. I don't like, you know, you start clear-cutting the rainforest and stuff can cause all those other things that eventually just cause crap for people. You know. So certainly you should respect the natural world in that broad extent. Now, how much respect do you give individual animals, though? Particularly if you've, you know, got yourself a whole bunch of cows or whatever that you can produce, you know, sustainably. There'll be more cows every new year or whatever, and, you know, more cows are born and stuff, and they replace the old ones, and there's no particular pollution going on. Though there are separate things with the way we mess with our livestock and jack them up with a whole bunch of hormones and overly high doses of antibiotics, even when they're not sick and so forth, which is great for profit margins, but not necessarily great for us people that eat all of that, and other things that can cause, in the long run, there's stuff, it's iffy. I like organic food myself. Not that I eat a whole lot of it, but when I can get it, I like organic. Presumably it's actual organic and not just they called it organic, because it's complicated. Animals individually, when there's no, you know, grand environmental impact, how much rights do they have? It's a thorny issue, you know. We don't typically eat dogs. We've understood that dogs are, like, you know, intelligent, and people have dogs as pets and stuff. I wonder if there is some sort of movement if people get cows as pets. Maybe we'd stop eating cows, you know, or pigs, or whatever other things that could be like a pet, and it'd be kind of weird to eat it-ish. You can get into all sorts of issues. It comes down to philosophy, even the morality of what constitutes, you know, a thing. Human-type thing that needs to be protected. Like, as a dog, like, you know, 1/10 of a human sort of a thing, you know, they deserve a certain amount of protection. Is a cow, like, 1/20th of a human in terms of how much moral weight it has? I don't know, really. It's complicated. There's the moral issue then for you. Hard to say. But, discarding that entirely, I still ought to be a vegetarian. Why? Well, it's healthy. I've looked it up. It's actually healthier. You get all your nutrients from vegetables. From non-meat products. Grains, fruits, vegetables, etc., etc. You think, well, you can get, like, you get protein from meat, right? You get, yeah, you're better off getting your protein from other stuff. I think, like, peanuts have protein. Nuts of some kind, or gee, I don't even know off the top of my head, but I remember looking this up. And there's no evidence that we're, you know, uniquely evolved to need meat. Like, even all the teeth of our mouth, for instance, even the pointy one is actually, you know, part of a normal plant-eating mouth and such. There's no vital thing that you can get only from meat, and everyone knows we ought to eat more vegetables just to be healthy in general. Well, if you're a vegetarian, you'd probably eat up a lot more vegetables, among other things. And then getting back to the environment thing, meat takes up a lot more resources. I forget what the math is on this, but like you could have, you know, X amount of corn or whatever to feed a cow, which will feed so many people. But like, if you didn't have the cow eat the corn, if you cut out the middlemen, you end up feeding like a whole lot more people with the original amount of corn. If everyone was eating corn. Or whatever. But we're not. We're eating cows, which is much less efficient, takes up much more land, much more resources. And I don't know if you've been paying attention those last couple decades or something, but sort of iffy on the resources bit, with population going up, granted not up as fast as was predicted. Global warming getting worse, though thankfully there's more awareness of that, so hopefully we'll turn something around here at some point. And with the just general principle that I like to live by of, you know, not using more resources than I need, which I'm not going to claim to be a saint in that regard, but I like the principle of it anyway. You really ought to eat the thing which is, you know, could feed more people. You know, the more eat the more efficient sort of way. And that way happens to be healthier. Put those two together, that is enough for, yeah, I should be a vegetarian. So I've been thinking about that last few weeks, and I've been eating less meat at meals. I get more salad and stuff. Haven't really switched over yet. But I ought to. And the rest of the world ought to. And we'd save ourselves a lot of resources and a lot of headaches of the various, you know, medical crap that happens because we don't get enough of random nutrients that we ought to get. I don't think those multivitamin pills are really going to help you with that. For some reason, I'm not exactly sure why, but for some reason it's so much better to get nutrients out of actual food than a pill. Like, the pill may help, but not half as much as the food. It's healthier. Being vegetarian, it's more efficient, thus, you know, better for the environment. You use less resources. And there might even be a moral question to boot in there. So yeah. I ought to be a vegetarian. I ought to. I'm getting around to that. And I'm pretty sure the rest of the world ought to be too. Or at least, you know, you don't have to go 100% vegetarian, but like eat less meat maybe? Could we all try that? We all of us just eat like 10% less meat than you would otherwise. You know, just see if that works. Take it a step at a time. I don't know. Thanks for watching. See you later.